All right, I'm Kyle,
And I'm Kyle.
and this is K Squared. All right, Kyle. I think we've got some pretty good questions today. My first question to you is, do you think that pandas are real? And let me kind of elaborate on this. For those of you who don't know or like aren't on X or whatever, but this like questioning or this person posted a video saying that pandas are not real. And he was like, pretty much for the thousands of years of Chinese history, there's no record of any pandas until the 1920s. And he was like, you have never seen a panda in the wild. You've only seen pandas in zoos. Of the Chinese calendar, they have dragons, like the year of the dragon is on the calendar. So it's like dragons are real, but there's no panda. There's no year of the panda on the calendar. And he was saying that all the pandas that you see in zoos are actually either puppets, animatronics, whatever that word is.
Animatronics.
Say it one more time.
Animatronics.
Animatronics, or yeah, people in panda costumes. So one, have you ever seen a panda? And then two, do you think they're real?
I've seen a panda and that thing was real. So I don't know what you're talking about. I say pandas are real. Somebody's got something. Now, I don't know. Me personally, I ain't big on Chinese literature. So, you know, I can't ever say I've read the book of the panda or whatever. So, I also don't speak Chinese in case you couldn't tell.
Couldn't
But
tell at all.
yeah, so I still think pandas are real. So I think somebody's just got to find something to talk about.
When did you see this panda?
It was at a zoo, but that thing was real. I know what I was seeing. That thing ain't no animatronic, ain't no person playing in a panda suit. That thing was real.
You don't think it could be an illusion?
No, what do you think I am over here having deja vu? No.
Look, there's people that like believe they've seen Bigfoot.
Yeah, a bunch of hullabaloo.
We're probably gonna get like attacked by the Bigfoot community for sure. Honestly, I think pandas are real as well. I would love to see them in the wild. I've never seen them in the wild. But like going back, I
Are they
love me
like
a good
endangered though?
supposedly.
Well, then there you go. That's why you don't see them out in the wild. See,
Yeah, but you could
see, I'm just so smart.
yeah, but you could say if you were, again, conspiracy theory here, putting your on your tinfoil hat, you could say that they're a made up animal, as in like they're fake, or maybe there's some sort of genetically engineered bear that they've like put into a zoo, and then people like throw all this money at like, oh hey, send money to save the pandas, and there's no real pandas, they're just pocketing that
Ah,
money.
it's the cartel. I knew it.
Yep,
It's
the
always
Chinese cartel. I do think it's hilarious though that World Wildlife Foundation, there we go. I was about to say World Wrestling Federation. The
Mhm.
World Wildlife Foundation, their logo is a panda. So here's our segue. Ended up suing the WWF, which is the World Wrestling Federation, because they use the same letters.
Yeah,
And I was like, why? Like, I don't understand. I guess because wrestling's more popular than saving the wildlife.
maybe. Hell yeah, brother.
Dude, I used to love me some wrestling. I still would go see a match live because I've never gone to a live match. I think it'd be a
Is this
blast.
like WWE type wrestling, or is this like actual like wrestling, like what collegiate or
Oh, dude, that's
what?
so sad. So WWF was the original wrestling. So The
Wrestling?
Rock,
Yeah.
yeah, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, all those boys, all those men were in the WWF, and then the WWF, the World Wildlife Foundation. I keep wanting to say the World Wildlife Federation. The World Wildlife Foundation sued the World Wrestling Federation, and that's why they went from WWF to WWE. So now they're World Wrestling Entertainment versus World Wrestling Federation. But World Wrestling Federation, like they were more edgy and better in the like early 90s, like early 2000s. So I don't think it's as good now. But I haven't, watched it because I grew up. But
Hey,
hey, some people still watch it. I mean, to an extent. I know it. I definitely know it's fake now versus like back in the day. I'd be like, "This real. Did you not see him go through that table?"
I mean, there's some bit of a real component that these people are jumping off of high rises and
Yeah.
everything. Like,
I mean,
there's
it's
so much
definitely
that you can say.
acting. Yeah, definitely acting. Definitely like everything is already planned out. People definitely get hurt. There's just a bunch of daredevils. Honestly, it's like it's a soap opera for men, I think.
Okay.
It is. Like if you watch the storyline and all that stuff, it's like I feel like if you the only way you're gonna know that or like believe me is if you actually watch it yourself because there's stories throughout like each episode and they like have all these different like you know I guess screenplays that they follow. All right, so moving on, unless you have anything else to say about pandas being
No,
fake.
pandas are real.
Okay, I tried to trick you there. All right, so the next one, what is your toilet etiquette? When you go to a public bathroom and the door is shut, do you knock? Do you jiggle the handle? And then what is your response if you're on the other side of the door, already in the bathroom, and somebody's trying to get in?
So, are we talking about like an actual door to the bathroom, or are we talking about the little flimsy divider doors?
Yeah, so we're gonna go with the real doors because I feel like most of the time porta potties are marked, and you know whether or not somebody's in there because the little
Right.
thing goes over. But
But
if it's
like
like a
like the
door,
ones with stalls, like if you like at work, like they'll have like the different stalls. It's like the metal
yeah.
doors. Are we talking about those
So
or like actual
I
individual bathrooms?
I guess that I am lucky because the job that I work at has individual bathrooms. So there's
Right.
one toilet in there. There's not like stalls. But I would go with the like door to the bathroom versus like a stall because I feel like a majority of the time you can tell if somebody's in the stall because you're like
Like the little
lean
slit.
over. No, definitely not look through the slit.
You can see though through the slit. It's a thing. Like you're like,
Have you ever looked through the slit and then make an eye contact with someone?
I'm not gonna lie, I have. I definitely have, and I'm like, oh, I gotta go.
All right, I'm leaving now.
Yeah, that was it. I don't have to go to the bathroom anymore.
Is that
Yeah.
really how you check?
Well, that's sometimes like if I'm like
No.
just like I mean I'll push the door and then I'm like, okay, well I'm gonna walk by, but then my curious self is just like, is there somebody really in there? And I'm like, well, you can like,
Oh,
especially on like a, I don't know, they've got like a black blue wall on the background.
yeah.
Pasty pale skin kind of sticks out a little bit easier.
I feel like my go-to in a just stall situation is to lean forward and look underneath to see if I can see their feet versus looking through the crack to see if there's somebody in there. Because
That's
like
too
there's certain
much for
things
me
I
to bend
don't want to
over.
see. I forgot you have no flexibility.
Yeah, because I'd be on my hands and knees in the bathroom, and let's not even go there with what I just said. Let's just not go there because I
What are you
realize
doing on
what
your
I
hands and knees in the bathroom, Kyle?
because I can't. I'm not flexible enough to do that. I'm not even gonna go there. That was a terrible
Oh my
segue.
God.
Um,
Oh, I love the things that come out of your mouth. It's just like, come on, you didn't think that one through? No
no, I
filter.
didn't. I like it just straight from brain
All
to
right,
mouth.
so back to the original premise.
Okay.
Um, what is your etiquette when the door is shut and you're trying to see if somebody's in there or not? Because there's no sign of whether
Well,
somebody's
for
in there.
me, we have these at work, just the individual bathrooms. I go and pull the handle, and if the handle doesn't move, then I'm like, cool, somebody's in there. And that's all I do. But there's people at work while I'm in there that knock on the door, and I just sit there like, it's obviously closed. The
Yeah.
door does not open, therefore, it is occupado. I'm not going to be like, someone's in. Excuse me, I'm pooping.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that ain't happening.
Oh man. Yeah, I do the exact same thing. Like I do the little two fingers touching on the door handle to see if it moves at all, and then I'm like, all right, so somebody's clearly in there.
Yeah,
But there is that wild card scenario where, somebody forgot to lock the door. So I guess that makes the argument for people trying to,
that's
you
their own
know,
fault.
I kind of agree. It's like, look, if you're gonna close the door, you gotta lock it. So we have
Yep.
this lady, we have a woman who cleans all of the toilets at our business. And once she cleans it, she'll shut the door. And it's like one of those situations where it's like typically you come around the corner, it's like, ah, the door's shut, so somebody's in there. But I've started like having to go up and like check the door to make sure that like the cleaning lady didn't like leave it closed or something like that because there was one day where both the bathroom doors were closed. I was like, man, it seems like every time I've come back here, like somebody's been in there. And I guarantee you I wasn't the only one because the door stayed shut all day. And then at the very end of the day, it's like, I'm gonna go like check these doors because
Yeah.
they've been occupied the entire time. And they were just closed. Like they'd been cleaned. Like there was like still soap in the around the toilet bowl or
Oh
whatever.
yeah.
And I was like, no, literally nobody's used the bathroom all day long. At least used these two bathrooms because the door was shut and nobody wanted to like go check or like people were too scared to go check. So I was like, this is
Right.
ridiculous. But yeah, I definitely am also on the other side when somebody like knocks, it like freaks me out because I'm like, oh God, did I lock the door? But yeah,
And knock on
I will do like occupied.
wood. You will? I won't say anything.
You won't say anything, so they'll start like banging on the door
If they start
or
banging on
jiggling
the
the handle.
oh, I can't say that.
Yep.
Be like, leave me alone.
Leave me alone. Oh man, but yeah, the other day somebody knocked on, and again, it's two doors side by side. And this is, I still think it's funny, but like somebody knocked on one door, and then that person was like occupied, and then they knocked on my door and it's like occupied, and I got like, man, I gotta go.
I don't know what
uh,
to tell you. If you are pulling on a door and it ain't opening, there's a reason that it ain't opening.
yeah,
So get a hint. That's all I got to tell you.
yeah, exactly. It should be that the door, if the door is shut, but people will leave it shut for some reason. I guess because they want to like let it air out. It's like
Yeah.
if you're shutting the door, you're keeping the air in. So.
Yeah.
All right, so last one. I am, and I'm probably aging myself some, but I remember a time when we didn't have smartphones. So, do you feel like your childhood was better for not having a cell phone versus now with kids having a cell phone?
I'd say that it was better. You got to go out and actually do stuff. Now, granted, we had video games still, so there was
Yeah,
that aspect, but we weren't constantly on our phones, like texting or scrolling through Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or
yeah,
whatever it is. So we weren't doing that, but so we were playing video games, but I think there was a lot more like outdoor exploration for me and my sisters. But um, we also lived out in a place where you could go out in the woods and explore, um, which I hear, all the time kids in the city or in the suburbs would go out and they'd ride their bikes everywhere and go different places like that to the park or whatever. So I don't think that that's quite the same anymore.
yeah. I would agree with that. I kind of think it is a better thing. As far as like from the parenting aspect, I don't know. It's kind of a mixed bag. Because I definitely think it's great that, if you're a parent, you can keep up with your kid.
Hmm.
Um, you don't have to worry about, well, you do, I guess, still have to worry about people getting kidnapped, but at the same time, like you can go somewhere and you always know where that person is. I just remember when I was younger, like if you were out of the house, you were out of the house. Like,
Yeah.
it's like nobody knows where you are, because there's no way to get in touch with you whatsoever.
Yep.
Um, and then I do think there is the pressure of just like looking at stuff on social media and like, have and have nots, where it's like, all right, these people are doing all these amazing things and look at me, I'm not like living up to that life. So I guess you can have like some depression, especially if you're a kid, like getting exposed to that stuff where, I grew up and didn't have a ton of stuff, but I was still like super happy.
Yeah.
Just because again, you're not aware. So like ignorance is kind of bliss in that situation. Where like I was perfectly content going out in the backyard, building forts or whatever in trees and getting my um, hands scraped up and all that good stuff, riding bikes, all that, playing simple stuff like wall ball. Like all you
Yeah.
need is a tennis ball. And like I'm sure that kids, and I don't know this for a fact because I don't have kids, but I'm sure like kids would like scoff at that and maybe more so be like, oh, I want to go play like video games, or I'm gonna like scroll on my phone, or like what's going on Twitter or whatever it
Yeah.
may be. Because I do know this, like I've had some young kids that I've run into, where it's like they don't want to learn how to drive. I'm just like, what is this world? Because that was like that when I turned 16, that was the very first thing I wanted to learn how to do, was
Yep.
learn how to drive. And I don't know if it's they're afraid of it, or if it's like, hey, I don't need to learn how to drive because Uber Eats will come to my door, or I can do whatever. But I'm just blown away by that because I want the freedom, and like I enjoyed having that freedom. And it
Yeah.
was fun, like getting to know all the neighborhood kids too. Like you actually had to go out and talk to people versus meeting people online, or whatever it is that kids do these days.
Whatever you kids do.
Yep. I sound like an old man for sure. All right. So I would lean towards like I think we were better as a
Yep.
result. Just because that whole ignorance is bliss, and also having to like the wonderment of learning certain things. But in that case, you might end up believing in Worldwide Wrestling Federation, that wrestling is real. Where the kids nowadays might not believe that because there's like
Right.
everywhere that's like, yeah, this is fake. But yeah, it was fun back in the day. You might end up doing something stupid like going through a table or getting hit by a chair.
Give him the chair.
Give him the chair. Oh man. I'd still think it'd be fun to go see, and I would totally try to. All right, so that's all I've got, Kyle. Any other final comments?
No, but speaking of comments, we got none. No comments. Again. Um, Not that I'm upset or salty about it, but just saying, no comments. So, oh well. But anywho, we hope that there's comments on this next video. Um, but we appreciate you all watching our videos. We hope that you enjoy it. If there's anything that you would like for us to talk about, just let us know in the comment section below, and we'll try to talk about that. Or if you would like to be a guest on with us at some point, just let us know. But we hope that you enjoy it, and like, comment, and subscribe to our page.
All right, see y'all next time.